Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for episode number 27 of our West Ham United FIFA 15 career mode here on Xbox 360, and in today's episode we will finally be returning to 3 games per episode. We'll be playing 3 games of course today. First of all we will be playing Newcastle in the Barclays Premier League, then Burnley in the Capital One Cup, followed by a massive game against Tottenham in the Barclays Premier League. As you can see by the table, we haven't really got off to the best starts after 4 games, finding ourselves 12th in the table. Just showing you guys this because I didn't get time to show you the table at the end of last episode. There's just a few things I've got to go over, as you'll see stuff in the background like the calendar, just confirming the games that we will be playing today. 3 crucial games, it has to be said. First of all, the career mode project. I know that's been gone for a while. I'm going to make a video explaining why it's been gone for so long. I'm basically just not really enjoying making those videos, editing them, getting the gameplay and stuff. So I decided to sort of stop it, but I will end the series in some guise. I will get to the end. I'm going to do an update video about it. Also, I've changed to 8-minute halves from 6-minute halves on this series, which was the case last season, mainly because I think I can get into the game a little bit better if it's 8-minute halves. It allows for more entertaining games, and also I just think it suits my playing style better in terms of easing into games. We're going to get into the first game, speaking of which, after we saw that Lasse Schöne would be out for 4 weeks with a sprained knee, which is a bit of a shame. He suffered that injury in the FK Austria game in Europe, having scored a lovely goal in that game. But as you can see, here is the starting lineup for this pretty crucial game against Newcastle. If we don't win here, our season still hasn't really got off to any sort of start. As you can see, there is the squad. Sacco and Valencia up front there, Wijnaldum as the attacking mid with Downing and Ayew as the wingers, and Delph in a defensive midfield role. We would get the first chance of the game in the 3rd minute there, Valencia being set through, but a fantastic block there from Davide Sanson. Now moving into the 23rd minute, Wijnaldum picks up the ball. He tries to play through Sacco, but it's not going to happen. He's actually going to give the ball to Ener Valencia instead, who turns, gives it to Diafra Sacco. Not much space to work with, but he blasts it into the bottom corner. That is a lovely finish from Diafra Sacco, the Senegalese striker. He didn't really have much space and time on the ball there, really crowded out by Newcastle defenders, but just about gets the strike away, and he does a lovely strike to put us 1-0 up after a very quiet first 25 minutes, but a misplaced pass there. Going to give it to Valencia. Lovely through ball there for Ayew just 10 minutes later, and a lovely save there from Tim Krul. The outside of the boot left footed strike there from Ayew, well saved by the Dutchman in the Newcastle goal. Now Ener Valencia set through into the second half after a very quiet game, it has to be said, and again Tim Krul denying our strike force. Now Alain Traoré off the bench there, going for a long shot, and without that deflection, that may have been heading in. I'm just going to say that. It did take a deflection, went out for a corner, nothing came of it, and that is how the game would end. A very boring game from an attack perspective, but I was really impressed by the solidity of our defence. After conceding something like 10 goals in the last 3 games, we were really solid in this game. My mouth isn't working, but we were, trust me, we were really solid in this game, and our defence just worked very well. Reed and Umtiti doing a very good job there. Willem's getting a good rating, a 7 for Sacco. He actually got man of the match with a 7 rating, which sort of says a lot really about the game itself, but a very solid performance from our defence, not really giving Scuffet much to do. But now, after that game, it is time for my question of the day. I haven't done this in a while because I've been sort of focusing on transfers, but I am going back to it, and here's another blast from the past, Player of the Month. I haven't done this in ages, mainly because I actually forgot about it. I do apologise. I did get your votes for the last one, whatever month that was, and Downing won that one, so thank you for the votes last time. But who do you think should be Player of the Month? That includes all the games you're going to see this episode, so the Burnley game, the Tottenham game, the Newcastle game, and all the games that happened last episode. So that's 6 games that we're covering. Who do you think in the future, at the end of this episode, who would you say would be the best player of this episode and last episode, in effect? That's what I'm asking you to do. Now we're going to get into the second game of this episode and give you a further chance to decide who should be Player of the Month. Drop that in the comment section below, the player that you think should get that award. We are now stepping onto the pitch here at Turf Moor to play Burnley in the 3rd round of the Capital Cup, our first domestic cup appearance of this season, and we're looking to get off to a good start against Burnley, who were of course relegated at the end of last season. There you can see the Burnley team. I'm only showing this actually because one of our ex-players, Modibo Maiga, we never got to see him in action, but he was obviously involved in the trade deal for Danny Ings, so sort of both teams here showing off their end of the swap. Danny Ings playing up front with Bril Donald Mbolo in this game, Alain Traoré there as an attacking mid, Jarvis and Downing as the wingers, and Koyate there defensive mid. Also Cresswell coming into the side as a left back there, but the first chance of the game, another long shot from Alain Traoré, who is absolutely fantastic. But what would become clear in this game. Literally, this clip sums up the game and the possession of the game. Neither team could get their passing going, neither team could stay on the ball, and it was just a game of pinball, really, in terms of possession. Finally moving into the 40th minute, we get some sort of chance. Brildon Dembele there, playing through Ings, after some lovely interchanging play. Ings with a chance to score against his former team, but it's a lovely save there from Thomas Heaton in the Burnley goal, and that meant it went in at half-time 0-0 with limited chances. Now moving into the second half, and really early in the second half, Alan Traore set away, cuts in on his favoured left foot, and a very good save yet again from Tom Heaton in the Burnley goal. And we were finding it very frustrating trying to sort of knock down Burnley's defence. We did get a bit better in the second half, and they're hitting the post with Danny Ings, and Brildon Dembele really should have done better there. The goal was gaping, and he couldn't steer it in on the volley, but Ings coming close to scoring against his former team. Scuffet there fumbling a header from Sam Vokes. Really should have done better. Had to be cleared away. He punches cleared in the 61st minute, but only as far as Scott Arfield, and a lovely save from the Italian to save the follow-up. So Scuffet there really being called into action as we were penned in towards the hour mark, but Scuffet throwing it out there to Danny Ings. Some nice little hold-up play there from the Englishman. He gives it to Traore, and a lovely ping out to the left-hand side for Matt Jarvis. He's going to try and cut in, and from a Burnley corner, he almost scores, but yet again, Heaton denying our attack force. And then again from the resulting corner, a header there from Ings, and saved once again. I decided to change a few things up. Decided to take off Danny Ings. He wouldn't be scoring against his former team, and bring on Zarate, and also Morrison, who came on for Traore, who was shooting from long range, but not really providing much else. And in the first minute of Zarate being on, Zarate scores. Would you believe it? Because what a goal. That is absolutely astonishing into the top corner. It had to be special to beat Heaton, who had really been on fire in that game. And that was literally the last action of the game. In the 72nd minute, one minute after Zarate comes on, he scores and wins the game for us. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Scuffet gets man of the match, interestingly there, with an 8.2 rating. Great rating as well for Rekic, who came into the side. Very solid performance from him after a shaky start. Winston Reid with a 7.5. And good ratings as well for Sako, Zarate and Cheku Koyate. But now you can see here, just confirmation, we will actually be playing Wigan Athletic in round 4 of the Capital One Cup. We actually faced them in the FA Cup quarter-finals last season, and a rather memorable volley from Lasse Schöne, in fact, won that game for us in the last minute. Lasse Schöne would not be starting our next game, though, against Tottenham. Of course, he is out injured, unfortunately, at the moment, so he would be absent from the team, and Stuart Downing would be in instead at right mid. You'll see the full starting 11 in a moment, but this really is a crucial game against Tottenham, our London rivals, of course, with Aston Villa in the Aston Villa career mode on FIFA 14. We never really got to experience a derby, but now we get them on a pretty regular basis. Here is the starting 11 that would face our fellow Londoners. Valencia there up top as a lone striker, Wijnaldum there as an attacking mid, Ayew and Jarvis on the wings, Koyate there and Delph as a defensive mid. So I actually lied that Downing would be playing. He was dropped. As you can see, though, we actually got a chance in the first minute there from Wijnaldum. He probably ought to have scored, but he did put it wide. As you can see, it was proving very easy to carve through Tottenham's defence, and Uchida down the wing after some pretty poor defending from whoever Tottenham's left-back was, and Valencia is there to head in after a nice little dink crossing from Uchida, but literally a 1-2 just carving Spurs apart. Pretty poor defending from themselves. They'll be disappointed, but they would in fact get back into the game in the 60th minute thanks to a lovely goal from Nacer Chadli. What a ball that is from Eriksen, who I pinpointed really is the only person who could actually damage us whatsoever because they were playing Adebayor up front. No Doumbia in this game. And wow, what a goal that was. But wow, what a tackle that is from Winston Reid. If he gets that wrong, he's off. Fantastic tackle there. Ayew now bursting forward. And what a disgusting goal. In theory, set up by Ayew, scored by Wijnaldum. Our new signings on fire and connecting brilliantly. But I have to say, I don't think it was too intentional. But look at that. Eriksen completely destroying Jetro Willems, but a lovely save at the near post there from Scuffet after some lovely skill there from the Dane in the white shirt. But as you can see, Kyle Walker just about recovering there after Ayew burst down the line. Some nice little blocks there from Hugo Lloris, and in the end, on the turn, Ayew cannot steer it into an empty net. But as you can see, into the second half now, and it's Eric Lamela, the other Tottenham winger. Chadli scored, and now Lamela, the other winger, scores on the hour mark, just shoving Uchida away from the ball, and a lovely finish past Simone Scuffet. So we couldn't hold on to our 2-1 lead. We did manage to hold on to half-time, but unfortunately it would be 2-2 on the hour mark. But now going forward straight away, Fabian Delph there finding some space. He plays it through for Valencia, who grabs his brace, his second goal of the game, just 2 minutes after Tottenham responded after they equalised. And yet again, Fabian Delph starting things. He has been absolutely fantastic. he just starts moves all the time. Here you can see Tottenham going forward, and what a save that is. I can confirm that was a save. Absolutely awesome from Scuffet, because he did go out for a corner. Nothing came of it yet again. Delph starting move, though, now into the 70th minute, playing through I, who surely will score, but no, he slides it past the far post, and that would surely come back to bite us there. Adebayor going for a strike from long range there, but Scuffet from a goal kick there, almost ending it for us completely, almost undoing all our hard work. They're giving it straight to Lewis Holtby, but a lovely recovering tackle. I think it was from Winston Reid, correct me if I'm wrong. But wow, Scuffet almost ruining that right at the end after getting a 7.6 rating. He was absolutely on fire. Fabian Delph was absolutely godly with an 8.1 rating. Lovely ratings as well for Koyate, Wijnaldum, and of course the man of the match after two goals, Valencia. 7.4 there for Uchida as well. Overall, some fantastic defending this episode. Only 2 goals conceded in 3 games, which has not been what you can say usually about our season so far. There you can see how those 2 games in the Barclays Premier League affect our position in the table. We actually move up to 7th now from 12th at the start of the episode, so it's looking really good for us now after those 2 wins, and of course the win against Burnley. Feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy this episode as well. Comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much, and your suggestions for question of the day, because that is pretty much it from me now. You can see the table in the background, the rest of the table, who's in the relegation zone, who's in trouble, and who's at the top of the table. But if we could smash 50 likes on this video, I would really appreciate it, and I will actually bring out a new episode of Career Mode once that happens. But in the meantime, it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.